it's Addie. Welcome back. It's so good to see you again. So today I'm going to be finally starting my vintage art journal, and I got this vintage style journal from Amazon a couple months ago, and I'm basically going to be using watercolor paint that I got from Walmart for like $5 or $6, and honestly this is pretty good. It's the Essentials brand, and I'm going to be creating something using my own imagination. And if you guys are interested to see what I create, just keep watching. I want to first quickly show how beautiful this journal is. So if you look at the binding, it is very nice and detailed. It is held together by a key that you wrap around like this. When you open it up, the pages look very old and vintage, and they are bound together in like a couple of booklets. Now I don't know if the watercolor is gonna like bleed through the pages, so that is what we are going to find out today. Okay, so right off the bat, something that I find seriously annoying, and this is pretty common in all vintage notebooks, but if you erase, it just kind of takes the paper off instead of actually erasing the ink. So as you can see exactly what I erased. Hopefully if I add some watercolor paint, it will be fixed, but I did not like what I did, so I'm going to be redoing it. Alright, so this is my first page, and this is nothing like how I expected it to turn out. I didn't even like plan on drawing the moon or anything, but I really had to cover up the eraser marks. I honestly don't like this page at all, and I am like a perfectionist, and this is nowhere near my standards, but I haven't really done watercolor painting since like junior high, and I only do lining with watercolor for my Blythe face up. So yeah, practice will make perfect. I'm gonna do one more picture without any lettering, and hopefully that one turns out a little bit better. Okay, I honestly don't know what the fuck this is. I really hate it. It ended up being, I don't even know what this is. You guys can have your own interpretation on what I painted, but I really hated the bunny blends in too much with this thing, and I just thought it was too plain after drawing the individual animals and stuff, so I tried to put it in a background, and I feel like I just made it like a scribbled mess, but yeah, all in all, the paper doesn't bleed through, and watercolor painting is actually really fun and relaxing. It's just like when you see it going bad, you really can't turn back. That is the downside of it. But hopefully I can somehow fix this by adding quotes or something in here. Maybe I'll come back to it and do stuff to it. I think you can always go back and refix your art, so that's a plus. I'm just gonna let this dry and fix it up later. Alright, so that was literally a train wreck. I'm so sorry you guys' eyes had to see that, but I'm actually pretty good at art if I am looking at a reference or if I am recreating something. I know it's hard for you guys to believe, but yeah, off the top of my own imagination, I am terrible at art, like creating something, as you guys can see. So if I do keep up with this on like a regular basis, I do think I will greatly improve, because I need it. But anyways, I have something else in store for you guys today. So I'm going to be creating interchangeable pull strings for my personal Blythe doll right here. And what I mean by interchangeable is that you can easily just swap off the pull strings if you get sick of them and replace it with a new one. Because usually pull strings cannot be replaced unless you take the doll apart. Now, if this sounds a little bit confusing, you'll see what I mean later. But I also have some dread accessories that came in the mail, so I want to share that with you guys. And I will also show you guys close up of what exactly I'm going to be using for my pull strings because they are very unique. You guys have no idea what I have in store, so please keep watching. Alright, let's begin with the dread accessories. So these are like fabric beads that you just slip onto the dreads. I think this will add a cool touch to it. These are also some dread beads, as I should call them. And I don't know if you guys can tell, but the swirly stuff are snakes, and you guys will see once I'm finished with the dreads. Now this is the nylon core that I will be using for the pull string, and hopefully it is not too thin because it is 0.8 millimeters, and I don't know if that's too thin or not, but these are what I'm going to be using for my pull string. So if you guys look closely, these are like, what are they called? Lures for fishing, and I'm gonna clip the hooks off and add them as like beads. This is also fishing beads, and I think it will be kind of an interesting theme to have for pull strings. Now for the other pull string, I will be using this miniature item, and I will open this for you guys right now. It is really cool. And as you guys can see, it is a super small knife that I will also be adding as a bead for one of the pull strings. This was bought off Amazon for $25. All you have to do is search miniature pocket knife. But yeah, it is fully functional, and this might come in handy one day if I travel with my doll. Now let's begin. Alright, let's start off by saying that took a really long time. It honestly took like a couple hours. And this string is actually the perfect diameter. It's the same diameter that Blythe company on Etsy uses, which is a seller that I buy from all the time for Blythe stuff. So as you can see right here, because of the lobster claws, the pull strings are interchangeable, and honestly, I feel like this method is so much better in the long term because you pull right here, which doesn't affect the beads at all. With the regular method of Blythe pull strings, you have to like pull on the beads, or if you're smart, I guess you would pull on the string, but sometimes you just don't think about it and you pull on the beads, and that can kind of damage it or make it not last as long. But anyways, these are what I came up with. I like to use really thin beads because I just think it's more dainty and cuter that way, but I hope you guys like what I created. Alright, that is it for today's video. Even though this video is really short, it took like all day to film, so I hope you guys really enjoyed it. And if you like what you see, please subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!